Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes.
So what is the theme for today?
Well, just that's the 5th anniversary of my channel, so welcome to Season 10.
What? I haven't heard this before. What's going on? How did you not tell me?
I've kind of publicized this one more than most. Yeah, it was actually May 1st, 5 years ago that I started this channel. I'd actually, kind of been in the YouTube community for about 6 months before that under another name.
That was Arlo Guthrie. Weren't you going by that?
No, I can't sing.
Fine. Arlo Guthrie, where did that come from? Jeez. Well, as you can see, I'm in the park. Look at that lovely sunny blue day. We're staring at the band shell, a place where we've been before, except this time I'm back a ways because I'm in shade. And that's always a good thing.
Usually in Florida, if the sky is like that, it's hot as hell outside.
It's what outside?
Hot. Very, very hot.
Oh, no, not around here. It's Minnesota. It doesn't get hot till like August, and then it's like 4 or 5 days, and then winter comes.
Let's see who we got in the side chat here. Greg Hartwick, of course.
Hi, Greggy.
I saw some things from Dick Dawson earlier, but he says he's popping out for a while, so I don't know if he's back yet. Ox and Stool.
Oxy, Stoolie.
And Sloth Girl. Oh, and Doc Pearson.
And Doc's here? Oh, boy.
So thank you all for coming. Oh.
How did they get so excited that they come?
Well, we've been edging for 5 years. They've got to eventually.
Well, to celebrate your 5th birthday here, I want you to know that I have surveyed a number of Twitter and YouTube followers, and I counted 27 people who are masturbating to your images.
Okay, then.
Yeah, I find that number kind of high, and it would definitely be a lot less if they knew what I actually look like.
Well, that's what I tried to explain to them, but
no, actually, I can believe that there are 27 people who are masturbating to an anthropomorphic dinosaur. That I can believe.
Well, that's kind of what they said. Is that that picture of you is so horny? How can they not?
Is it strange that most of us are using anthropomorphic avatars, even though, as far as I'm aware, none of us are furries?
Yeah. Yeah, but there is definitely an overlap with the furry community, so I wind up seeing a lot of people who are furries coming up in my Twitter feeds.
Did any of you see the
commenting on transgender stuff?
Did any of you see the costume that Jared Leto is some young actor, dark hair, long, scraggly beard. The costume he wore to the Met Gala in New York, I think they hope to have it. It was a cat, and it was, of course, it was a 7 foot tall cat, but it was exactly like a cat. I mean, it didn't look like a costume at all. It just looked like a big old cat.
No.
It was pretty well done. I'm sure you can find shots of it on the web somewhere. I'm not a fan of that thing, but that costume was very impressive.
Oh, that cat, that cat costume. Yeah, no, I've seen costumes like that. Pretty impressive.
Well, I do have to say that some of the people who are into the furrydom, do put an awful lot of effort and, considerable amount of money into their costumes.
I followed one woman on Twitter as she was making her furry costume, and she twisted or tweeted all of her various operations and tasks to do the head that she wanted to get.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to be some kind of fox or wolf type creature, something like that. But it was unbelievably involved, all the steps she had to go through. It was just very impressive, lots to learn, and a lot of trial and error too.
Hey, Spooky. Yeah, I did know one person in New York who was a furry.
Stephanie, hi.
Costume.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, Stephanie.
How's it going? Happy anniversary.
Well, thank you.
That is wonderful. How many? How 5 years? 5 years. Yeah, you.
Yeah, I never would have imagined I'd be doing this that long. It was just, kind of a random thing to begin with. Well, it started with me doing the Christmas stream, and then I decided that, well, if I was going to do that, I might as well, just kind of have a hangout for people.
Yeah, cool. Well, random.
Yep.
Hey, I'm almost up to. I've gone 4 short of 100 subbies at this point in time. So.
Yeah, I was just a couple hours ago. Finally got time to watch your video there from that you posted a few days ago
On Sabine Hassenfelder. Yeah, bitch.
Yeah, on why they can't do double-blind studies with medical people.
Yeah, it's a common refrain. There aren't enough authoritative studies. Well, you can't. If by authoritative you mean randomized double-blind control studies with a control group, there are certain circumstances wherein you can't do that ethically.
Well, that's like almost a completely common thing when you're trying to like survey and understand or group responses to questions in the psychological arena. There's no way you can do a double blind on that.
It's difficult, it's difficult. Yeah. The classic example is advanced stage cancer is one example. AIDS is another example. The article I was going through on the topic was a 1991 article from the New England Journal of Medicine that spells out very, very carefully how in certain circumstances, randomized double-blind tests with a control group just can't work. And, it was basically a 20,000-foot response to Sabine Hassenfelder's criticism of trans care, particularly for teenagers, for young people. So you can't do that. You can't do a double-blind study in that circumstance, because how are you going to? One group is going to experience exactly the conditions that give them distress, and the other group is not. And is that ethical? No, it is not. Not by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, and especially when they're saying their whole thing is about kids.
Well, that's the point.
So what would be the ethics of doing a double-blind study with preteens involved?
Well, yeah, I suppose. There are double-blind studies that can be conducted, but on certain conditions. But that's not one of them. I mean, the only way that it works is if you don't have if you already have a therapy and you provide this treatment and there's a new treatment, you double blind to see if the new treatment's more effective than the old treatment. I mean, that is one way to do it, but you can't do it in this particular circumstance because the changes, it's kind of the same reason that it's very, very difficult to do a randomized double-blind study with a control group on any form of surgery, because you can't blind everyone in the study. I mean, the surgeon's gonna know surgeries leave scars and stuff like that, so you're gonna know who's in which population.
Yeah.
And which is, I guess I can understand why a physicist or someone in the physical sciences might not get that, but like the title of the thing was people aren't particles. Medicine's not astrophysics. It's not the same. You're not operating in the same under the same ethical constraints as someone in the physical sciences would be.
It's been my feeling that making public statements or organizations trying to look official and actual professional organizations, when they're really just anti this or anti that, puts out a survey or a study and they say a result that is absolutely against what everybody else who's considered legitimate comes up with. And it just makes me crazy.
Yeah.
There's a group right now that's trying to say that no medication, hormones, no treatment, therapy, no surgery helps trans people at all. It's no difference, regardless of what you do. There's still the same terrible person. It's like, what are you talking about? Man,
right.
Millions of people can't be wrong,
With double-blind surgery, what the person then wakes up with a scar on them, and then they're standing there saying, "Guess what we just did."
Yeah, that's how you have to do it. Yes.
We may or may not have removed an organ.
Or,
well, if you're under general anesthesia, at least one of the people in the whole thing is blind. I don't know.
The only way you could do a blind study in trans surgeries is after their surgery, poke out their eyes.
So anyway, like, get me to 100 subbies. I'd appreciate that. 4 away.
Hey,
that's all I need.
Steph,
4 more.
How's your GoFundMe going?
Got enough to fund medications, which is great. And
that's good.
So, but I've got to go to work and get some shit out the door so I can get some money in the door at this point.
Well, okay, you want to explain to people what your GoFundMe's about?
Oh, I had a shortfall and I was out of medications.
And did you make the total?
I did.
Okay.
I was able to get some meds.
All right. I wanted you to be able to plug it here if you still had it running.
Yeah. Got other problems, but I'm not, can't keep Can't keep going to the well, you know. Got to get some bills out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yes, so I see Diana tried starting a live stream and left it abandoned.
I was wondering about that. That it looked like she was going to start it just before I started here.
Yeah.
Have you talked to Diana?
Like 2 days ago.
Yeah, she is not doing good.
No.
I wish there was something I could do. They're kind of far away.
Yeah, that's the problem for all of us, is that there isn't anyone who's even within a couple 100 miles of her.
Far away, and I'm broke.
You know, I pay attention on Twitter, and there are a lot of kids, young trans people who live in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I would think she should be able to find some kind of local support group. I mean, I found one here, and this is not that big a city.
Well, I did find that Trans Uniting, which is in Pittsburgh, which appears to be a trans support group.
Yeah. She does
How about
about...
drop a memo to them about Diana?
Yeah. She does complain about her transportation issues, which, I understand can be a barrier, but, I think that she has some things available to her that she doesn't really use as much as she could.
Yeah. Oh, it's hard. How old is she?
64, 65, I think, something like that.
No, 68, 58.
Okay. Huh?
58 to 62, somewhere in there.
No.
Definitely not
She's
in the
definitely
50s.
older than I am, and I'll be 58 in a couple of months.
Spring chicken, then.
Everyone see Steve Crowder's leaked footage?
No. What now?
Being verbally abusive to his wife, or ex-wife now, I guess.
Oh, I saw a thing about that, but I didn't bother to go look at the video.
Going on about her wifely duties and whatnot. And apparently she was concerned about messing with the dog's medication, and he was trying to force her to put on gloves to give the dog the medication.
Why?
Because he was trying to be a controlling asshole, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, that clocks.
I thought for sure you were an asshole, but then I realized you can talk. Assholes can't talk.
Oh, you'd be surprised how many assholes can talk.
I was gonna say, where'd we get all the right-wing politicians then?
It's like the whole thing with Dorothy and the straw man.
Yep.
Oh, what's that? Oh, I haven't got a brain?
Yeah. Oh, you'd be surprised how many people don't have brains and still talk.
There seems to be a rush of little conservatives and lots of them young women. They look late 20s to late 30s and putting up their signs on how much they love Donald Trump.
I'm surprised I haven't seen any more Trump signs around here.
I have not seen as many around here lately as there were when we first got here, so it's been diminishing.
Well, I wonder if he's going to lose this lawsuit that he's in right now over the rape.
Don't know.
Well, apparently they did rule that he doesn't have to give his DNA, but that that strikes me as suspicious. If somebody's accused of rape and giving their DNA could wind up getting the whole thing dismissed, and they refuse to do it.
I think that would be a requirement for this sort of case.
Yeah, well, it's been more than one court that has said that he can't be required to do it. I guess because he was never actually arrested for it. These are being civil cases rather than criminal cases. Hey, Granny.
I wonder how it would go if they acquired some of his DNA surreptitiously.
A few skin flakes here, some hair there. Wait, no, the hair isn't his, is it?
Oh yeah, Jerry, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
It's everything that's going down right now is all about control. Everything.
That's Crowder's take. What she's talking about there. He was lamenting how Texas law allows his wife to leave him, even though he doesn't want her to leave him.
Yeah. Of course, why you would want to stay living with somebody who desperately wants to leave is, I know it's a control thing, but it's a mindset I can't get.
You have to be more involved with your ego. It's just that.
Okay, Stephanie got her 100 subs.
Hooray!
Her computer crashed, so she's rebooting.
Very nice. Congratulations. It was like the joke I was making. He limits the Texas law allows his property to leave him.
The dog will be next.
Well, with the self-driving cars, I've just been wondering how long before we've got a country song about why my truck left me. There's a joke for you, Mage. Spring is here. I got so excited I wet my plants, but at least I didn't soil them.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, now I had expected to do a bit of an AMA session here, but I did not have anybody sending me any questions.
Well, you didn't announce it.
I did too.
You didn't announce it today.
Well, yeah, but I would have thought that giving people 2 weeks notice, I would have gotten some questions. But anyway, so I have to wonder, is the problem just that I've been open with everything, so everybody already knows everything, or I'm just too boring to bother with?
Well, for me, it'd be yes.
We're all subject to the AMA rules and regulations in the show today, right?
Well, I was not going to commit any of you to it. You've got to volunteer. So I was only committing myself to it. Yeah, I'm sure, yeah.
772-84-2399.
I thought 770s were a railroad retirement number.
Shh. I'm not sure of this. I heard that Social Security is requiring people to have their newborn child apply for a Social Security card immediately upon birth.
Well,
You know,
they've been pushing for that for decades. I don't think they're able to require it. I don't think that their agency has enough authority in the government to actually require anyone to do it before they're required to pay taxes. Yeah, Spooky Online, I just go by Purple. I don't use my name otherwise. Still working on the new name. I still haven't gotten all the paperwork done for that.
Hey, I'll do an AMA. Mage, what's your real name?
Well, it's
well, yeah, you, that one who's hiding behind this, Jenny Morgan thing.
Yeah. I sure wasn't born with that, so who knows if it's real.
Well, I wasn't born with my legal name either. I changed it back in the 90s. But I'll be changing it again. Yeah, only the Sloth Girl and a few dozen other people on here know my real name.
I knew.
My real name's gotten leaked a few times here and there, but I'm not going to say where you can go to look for it.
Yeah, that's same with me through the course of some of the fundraisers. Mine's gotten out there, but I'm not going to advertise it.
I've shared my dead name with a few select, very trusted people. But other than that, nobody knows.
Yep.
And you can't find out because I'm not my records aren't digitized. Na.
Well, I'm safe. I'm not going to have many people leak mine because I have not only names but addresses for many of them. I've had to send out a lot of packages over the years, especially during COVID when Sloth Girl was making all the masks and we were sending masks and supplies to a lot of people. I can't believe I was actually mailing toilet paper to other states.
Well, depends on the state. Some states are really shitty.
Yep. Never did get the toilet paper thing. I mean, if diarrhea had been one of the side effects of the virus, it would have made sense. But otherwise, what the hell? Why that of all people? Why that of all things were people grabbing?
Because they're the anal retentive people.
Yes, I did have that incident that I got doxxed for being on Empathic Atheist show.
What? Somebody in that community would actually do that?
Well, it was questionable, but yeah, he found it online and he wound up putting my real name instead of my screen name in some of the promotions for his show.
Oh, and if you want, you can actually grow your own toilet paper with the blue spur flower, also known as the toilet paper plant.
I don't know if I would want toilet paper from something with the word spur in it.
The leaves are super durable and super soft, so you can actually wipe your ass with it. I didn't mean to get one of those. Those for my garden.
Well, I suppose it's better than the traditional corn cobs.
Hey, it's Santa Claus. Ho, ho, ho.
I'm not a hoe. I don't get paid for it. It's just a hobby.
Is Jyuni in the chat?
No, Jyuni said that she would be working and that she would try to come in later.
Okay.
No, actually, Aunt, you're right. I had heard that he was charged. I did not know he had gone to prison. Yeah, Spooky say got 12. Wow.
12 years. Wow. Not enough.
Yeah, there's too much in our justice system that is subjective and arbitrary, especially as the sentencing goes.
Well, apparently, according to DeSantis, we can now kill little child molesters.
Well, in a lot of states, if you have an AR-15 and you say that they scared you, you can kill anyone.
Yeah, you can do better than that, Soft Girl.
Yeah, what do you do when you see a fireman?
Get a waterman?
Put it out, man.
Oh, yeah. That is speculation, but I can see how you'd make the connection there.
Really, Jer, could you explain that to me in a few sentences?
Well, I think it goes back to the thing of, Muhammad marrying a 9-year-old girl. Actually, I guess he married her when she was 6 and consummated the marriage when she was 9.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, yeah, because 9-year-olds was so much hotter than God almighty. I've seen some Republicans shooting back at this thing that we bring up to them when they start screaming that gay and trans people are groomers and pedophiles. Now we show them their little 8-9-year-old little girls getting dressed up in a beauty pageant.
Yeah,
looking like miniature sluts. It's or hookers, I should say. It's it's the liberals doing that, not us. Okay.
yeah. For a while on cable TV, it was one of the big reality TV shows that there were like 3 different channels that had things on child beauty pageants. Just, yeah, so many things wrong with that and what they put the kids through for that.
Well, the things, I saw some clips from somebody who made some kind of film or news story about it or documentary, whatever. And this mother is just going apeshit on the kid because they didn't do well in the swimsuit competition or something. You know, and it's you do realize you're scarring this child for life, don't you? Yeah, damn.
That's I was kind of wondering about the ones that were on those TV shows that most of them are probably becoming adults now, and are they trying to find out who they can sue for all that they were being put through when they were 10 years old?
Yeah, I've heard about how their lives have gone on since then with some of the child modeling and all that.
I heard a news tidbit that the majority leader in the House in Missouri, who just passed some absolutely horrendous anti-trans bills, that his kid, I'm forgetting gender and I don't want to misgender them, is in the community. I don't think he should have been allowed to be speaker for that entire discussion. I think that's conflict of interest, big time.
Yeah, conflict of interest doesn't mean anything in politics anymore. They only penalize people if they're from the wrong party, and whether or not they did anything wrong is irrelevant.
I saw another little news blurb today. Who was it that put it together? Oh shit! It was somebody who had a clear legal background and was talking about the Trump case. Oh, it was Bill Barr. Yes, Trump's former attorney general said that with the documents in his office thing, the classified stuff.
Yeah.
He's probably going to go to jail for life.
Well, I think, yeah, he should. I mean, that would be considered espionage and probably treason for anyone else.
Well, they said that the sentence would probably be around 24 years. And for somebody at his age, that's a life sentence.
Yeah.
That would be so wonderful. Of course, his followers will still say he's innocent.
Of course, they'll say that was all a setup to prevent him from running for president again.
Okay, children, it's time to storm the Bastille, hey? Give it a try.
Well, in their trials, several members of the Proud Boys, including the leader, have thrown Trump under the bus, saying that they were only doing what Trump told them to do.
Yeah.
Which doesn't help their case any, but it definitely hurts Trump's case. Because we kind of learned from Nuremberg that I was just following orders is not a legal excuse. Oh.
I had freckles when I was a kid, and they went away as I got older, which apparently they do frequently in a lot of kids.
Yeah.
I had more freckles when I was a kid.
But now that I'm older, now they're coming back as bigger splotches all over my hands and feet and arms. Damn.
I still do have freckles, moles, and they show up more when I've been exposed to the sun.
Okay, so stop being exposed to the sun.
Yeah, I gotta get a sleeve for my left arm. Because since I'm always driving my own car, that arm is always exposed directly to the sun, and I can't be in the sun with the drugs I'm taking.
Yeah, you're getting the trucker's tan.
Yeah, my left arm, not my right arm, my left arm gets way burned in dark.
Well, see, you need to have two cars. You need to have an American one and a British one, so half the time you're driving with the other arm out.
Well, that would be a good idea. I wonder if my brother will let me have his Wolseley. Wolseley was a company who bought Mini Coopers from Mini Cooper and rebadged them after redesigning the front grille and the rear taillights and putting a leather interior in them. And so it's kind of like trying to make a luxury car out of a Mini Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother and sister-in-law scored one of those for dirt. Now they're fixing it up, and it's going to be real nice. They just got the leather seats replaced. The skins, I should say.
Well, you might be able to AMC cars. They were the only American car company that made cars with steering wheel on the opposite side, because they made them for the post office and for rural postal workers.
I've seen other cars with right-hand steering.
Yeah, but I think AMC was the only one who actually mass-produced them that way, that they weren't customs. That was one of the big contracts that kept AMC going as long as they did.
If I could have any car I wanted, there's so many cars I would want. If I could have anyone, I should make a list of my top 10 cars I would lust for if I won the big lotto. Not number one. This is no particular order. One would be the Amphicar.
The what?
You guys know about the Amphicar? It was a car built by a German company that you could drive directly into a lake and have it spin its propeller and continue to motivate you.
Oh, that thing.
Oh, yeah. There were a couple
of
of companies that experimented with those.
Yeah. I would like a 1959 Chevy. I don't remember if it was called the El Camino back then or not, but a pickup style out of a car design. In the 59 Chevy was the one with the big fins that went out to the sides and the real thin teardrop taillights. And I would love to have one of those.
Just give me something that's simple to maintain.
Well, I see, if you win the big lotto, you don't have to worry about that. You just drop it off somewhere and say, fix this. Make it perfect.
Mage, I was just bringing up exactly that. My favorite car is the Citroen 2 Chevaux. When it was originally designed, it was specifically one of the criteria was that they had to be able to do 80% of the maintenance in the field with a kit of 5 tools that came with the car when you bought it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Wasn't the hood or something on that fabric?
No.
Or fenders or something?
No, the top was. As you can
Yeah.
see, you can kind of see in this picture that it's kind of a convertible that you could manually roll the top back. This particular one here is the 2 Chevaux Sahara, which was their 4-wheel drive model, which is why I really want this thing. Because they had a lot of trouble trying to figure out a transmission to sync the 2 axles without it being prohibitively expensive. So their solution was just to drop in a second drivetrain. So each axle has a separate motor and transmission. You can literally blow a motor and still drive home.
Yeah, well, you know what they say about French cars. The French do not copy other cars, and no one copies the French.
Yeah, well, this was developed in the 1930s, it was the French response to the VW Beetle, that it was supposed to be a car that, any of the farmers could afford. The biggest drawback to it is that they were kind of underpowered. So the result being that they only have a top speed of about 45, 50 miles an hour. Be a little problematic on the interstates here.
Perp, I'm going to go off for a minute and send a picture to you on your the DM channel.
Yeah. Hey, Jyuni.
Jyuni,
Have you
beautiful,
jump in.
beautiful title card.
Yeah, so we got Purple holding Soft Girl's hand. You got Jenny there with a boob window. And I got me just kind of hanging in the background. I'm trying to look cool. And then we got Jyuni photobombing.
Yep. Yeah. Your name badge covers up half of Jyuni's face, so you're only seeing one eye now.
It's a shame.
Actually, I can do better than that.
Can't you turn the name badge off for a moment?
I'm not sure. But I can bring up the picture. Yeah, if I can remember which folder it got stored in. I know where it is now. Just give me a moment. I mean, I've only been doing this for 5 years. I'm just, not that practiced at it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe 6 years.
Nope. We're just starting on the 5th year.
No, I mean, once you get practiced, maybe just take 6 years.
Okay. There's a lot of buttons to click just to share a picture here.
I don't seem to run into that problem.
There you go. Now you can see the image without interference, so you can see Jyuni's face there. Steph, you back with us?
I'm back.
Okay.
Yay.
And heard you
Seems
say
like
anything since I let you in.
I haven't said anything. I was listening, rapt attention.
Listening without interjecting? You don't know how Americans talk, do you?
I've been training myself.
Yeah, Jyuni's a big advocate of the electric cars. I had some arguments against electric cars before, but more and more, yeah, I think that they're the way we're going to have to go. Still have some issues about the batteries, the manufacture and the disposal of the batteries.
Yeah, that is an issue.
Although apparently Canada is one of the big producers of lithium. So they have, the Canadian government has done a big thing to promote using the lithium mined in Canada for battery packs for electric cars.
Perp, I sent that picture.
Okay, it'll take me a few minutes and about a dozen buttons to
Now I've done it.
And
Now dog.
it
Now
will
dog
also
thing.
require Twitter to cooperate. Did you send it on Twitter or on Discord?
Twitter, the Mid America channel.
I've done it now. Now the dog thinks it's playtime.
Isn't it always playtime?
Yes. Except for when it's time to eat or sleep.
Okay, Jenny, the picture did not come through.
What?
The last thing I see in the Mid-America group is the link I sent out for starting the show.
Nope, I don't see it either. Yeah, I got Molly these crunch bones. It's like a little rubber toy bone that when you squeeze it, it crunches. She quite likes chewing on it.
She just likes anything crunchy. She must have incredibly strong jaws for going through those hooves that fast.
Oh, it's just
You should have it now.
Oh yes, I've seen this car.
Urkel's car.
No, it's not Urkel's car.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
That's the type that Steve Urkel in the show used.
No, a loser television show that uses that car for a couple of years to have a gag is not that car. That car is Cary Grant's car, who actually did advertising and promoted it when it was new. So there.
Yes, the little one door. I forget what that one's called though.
This is a car I restored that had been through 2 fires and then was parked for 20 years. And I did a total restoration, every nut and bolt. And that's a 1957 Isetta 300 Cabriolet.
Yeah, I can see the fabric top. Cabriolet is just French for convertible.
Yeah, all I said is had the sunroof on top, but this one has, you see the white in the back. That's the Cabriole part.
They're cool. I like the quirky little cars. I'm not a big one for like massive horsepower or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one didn't have horsepower issues. It was 13 horsepower. 13 raging horsepower. I mean, you had to manage your speed to get up a hill.
Yeah, I've driven lawnmowers with bigger engines than that.
Yeah, exactly. But I would want one of these as my well, I'd want one again. I've owned several of them. Back in my stable if I win the big bucks. They would cost today, that car is probably valued at $25,000.
Is that all?
Well, it only cost $1,000 new.
Yeah, I just thought that they were pretty collectible.
They are. That's a collector's price. The most expensive I set up ever auctioned was this one that was just heavily modified with chrome shit and doodads that no true collector likes, just the assholes. And he bought it to impress his girlfriend and paid $45,000 for it. And the gray interior panels, that's cardboard. And those are 2-piece wheels. They bolt together.
Look at that.
And it is a 4-wheel car, not 3.
Oh, is it? Okay, it looks like 3 from that picture.
Yeah, well, looks like 2 in that picture.
Well, on the front, at least you see the wheel hump for the other wheels, so you know it's 2 in front.
It got that reputation stuck on it because they did indeed build a 3-wheel model, but it was only for the British and Canadian market, and it was a option. You could get the 3 or 4-wheel, and the 3 wheels were popular because the way Britain taxed motor cars, it was in a lower tax bracket then.
Yep.
So a lot of people chose it. And they're horrible to drive. They're just horrible to drive. They handle like shit, and you don't want to take it over 40 miles an hour because the brakes aren't going to stop for you.
Yeah, well, the tax bracket is also what made this one, the Reliant Robin, popular, because this was a 3-wheel car.
Yeah, those things are famous for hiking up on 2 wheels.
Yeah.
It's like a sailboat in cars.
Well, and the thing you were saying about in Britain is that anything with less than 4 wheels was classified as a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why these were so much cheaper to license.
Now in America, in most states, a vehicle qualifies as a motorcycle if it has 1,000 cc's or less. And so in some states, you can get a motorcycle license for an Isetta.
Yeah. I think Michigan has the system that makes the most sense to me. They really don't even bother with classifications. They just go by the gross vehicle weight. You know, that's how the taxes are calculated for the license, is it's just what the tonnage is.
Minnesota does it by age, don't they?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. It's a couple of different criteria.
Yeah, I know that my license only costs $50 a year.
Hey, nerdy.
Nerdy babes.
Yeah, well, if a car's more than 20 years old, you can get registered as a collector. And then they figure that you're not really going to be driving it every day, so you get a much cheaper rate.
Downside being that you're not allowed to drive it in usually December, January, February.
I didn't know there were specific months for it.
In Wisconsin, there is. That's one of the ways they keep people from getting their regular car tagged as a collector, because it's significantly cheap. You buy a collector plate once in its life, and that's all.
So what happens if there's an auto show in December?
Well, exactly. And auto show cars are brought in on trailers. Nobody drives them in.
Well, I mean, for the bigger, more professional ones, but I mean, there's a lot of amateur auto shows that aren't much more than everybody meeting up in a lot.
Well, yeah, but those are not true auto shows. Those are just a club function or something like that, and they're perfectly fine, but they don't have the panache as a
yeah. But I mean, they're also something there's something you'll see a lot, you know, if you don't live in one of the bigger cities. I know when I was living out by Maple Lake that was happening on a fairly regular basis. Every couple of months that we had a bunch of people basically just getting together in a parking lot with all of their classic cars.
Pebble Beach has a huge, very stuck-up auto show every year. But you sure see some interesting and beautiful iron there. One car my brother worked on ended up at Pebble Beach. I don't remember how it placed, but it was a 1915, something like that. Cord.
Yeah, I've had several cars that I was driving when they were more than 20 years old.
Yeah, I've only had one that isn't.
Actually, my last one that I had just before I got this van had technically made it to 20 before it died. I don't know as I've ever owned a car that was less than 10 years old when I got it.
Oh well, I've technically had at least two. My very first car was a '65 Ford, and that was in 1972.
Hey, Porpoise, what are you denying?
You did too. We saw you. We have movies.
Well, and if we don't have movies, we'll get Nearly Rodent to make one. It'll be fine. Nobody will notice the distorted mouse faces. So did you see Lorraine Boebert's terribly bad take the day after the neighbor shot 5 people in Texas?
No.
Yeah,
So many
she
are
was
bad
out at a
takes.
gun range displaying a T-shirt that said, "Since we're redefining everything, this is a cordless hole punch," and it was a picture of an AR-15 on it.
A what hole punch?
A cordless hole punch.
God. She is such a trash.
Yeah, it's just completely belittling all of the people who have been shot by those things.
I just came back. We're talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Lorraine Boebert.
Yeah, about the same.
Yeah, same category.
Screw, comma, loose.
Not sure.
Hey, great.
Ooh, 62 Tempest. That's a cool ride.
My brother had an early 60s Tempest, and the only thing I remember about it is when it spontaneously burst into flames behind the garage.
Did that one have the overhead cam engine?
I wouldn't know.
No, I'm asking Greg.
My mom went on a date with this guy whose car burst into flames in our driveway. We didn't see him back.
Something you don't hear about in the media is that there are 2 generations of 3 Series from BMW that an unusual number burst into flames under the hood, and that they were built between 86 and 94.
Yeah, the first car I owned was actually a 1970 Ford half-ton van that I bought when I was just as I graduated high school. So I got it in 82, so it was 12 years old at the time. And I specifically bought it to move all my stuff from Michigan to Minnesota so that I could come here and go to school here. Damn thing didn't even survive the trip. The steering box actually tore loose from the frame.
What car was this?
A 1970 Ford half-ton van.
Wow.
It just had so much corrosion on the bottom that on the drive here, the steering box pulled off of the frame. Everything had just rotted through.
Front subrims are usually one of the most indestructible parts of a car.
Well, that was back in the 70s. They were putting an awful lot of salt on the roads.
Oh, well, that's certainly true.
You already want to play with your puppy.
Yes. She's got her squeaky ball. I probably should not have given that to her.
I saw this great dog video on Twitter. It was a little dachshund, and it was a motionless camera just sitting there, and it's kind of a hallway with a rug in the middle of it. And here's this little dachshund with a ball, and it picks up the ball from on one side of the room and walks over to the carpet, picks up the end of the carpet, folds it over the ball, and then starts jumping at the ball from the closed side of the fold, so it would shoot out and he would chase it. And then he went back and did it all over again. It was amazing. That's one smart dog.
Yeah, if I had a dog in a yard, I had seen that somebody built a little wooden catapult so that their dog could play fetch solo while they were at work. That the dog could drop a tennis ball in the catapult and then hit a lever on the other side with his paw to throw the ball.
That's cool. I saw just a beautiful dog video this morning. It was two dogs. One looked to be, I think, a lab or a golden retriever. I couldn't tell from the smallness of the pic. And the other dog, geez, I think was a Saint Bernard or a Newfie, something large. And it was obviously crippled because it had one of those wheelchairs for dogs strapped to its rear legs. And they had just come out of this pond and are going to traverse up the side of this hill. It looked like about maybe a 30-degree, pitch, which is not much. About maybe 15 to 20 feet from the pond to the top of it. And the Newfie just couldn't make it. And the golden retriever came back with a toy in its mouth and gave it to the dog that's having trouble, and then pulled it up by its mouth out of the pond.
That's cool.
Dogs are so much more smart than we think they are.
Oh, yeah.
It was just so beautiful.
Animals in general, people just don't give them enough credit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even cats have done miraculous things.
Well, one of the things I keep reflecting on here, that all the doors, instead of knobs, we've got the lever handles.
Mm-hmm.
And if I still had Tasha, the cat that I had before I moved to New York, there'd be no way to keep her in this apartment. Because there were plenty of times that I'd walk through and I'd see her hanging from the doorknob. That she figured out if she could get the knob to turn, that she'd be outside.
Aminals are smart.
Hey, Commander. Thanks for stepping in.
Oh, that's a penguin. Hi, Commander.
Yeah, Commander 401's usually a penguin. Last time I was here was something different. It was a a kind of anthro kitty of some kind.
You guys, I gotta go wee, so I'm gonna shut down and be back in a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. Is that an emperor penguin or a mere kingly penguin?
I'm not sure exactly, but yeah, Commander 401 has a whole bunch of videos featuring the penguins guarding the ice wall in Antarctica. Hey, Angie, thanks. Yeah, I'm sure those are really fun. Watching how different animals wind up bonding together.
Okay. Maybe that'll keep her busy. I put some dog peanut butter on her treat ball.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm too slow on the keyboard to look things up, but...
What are you trying to look up?
Oh, just Hunter was talking about, interspecies friendships, different animals.
Huh.
There are some interspecies friendships that aren't quite as friendly as you'd like them to be. For example, the crabs. Having the crabs, not good. That's a species I'd just as soon not see around.
Yeah.
Oh, so we got the lion and the tiger and the bear being friends.
Oh my.
But I remember after a tsunami that there was one of an orphan hippo that wound up bonding with the tortoise and wound up following the tortoise all over.
I had a snake that ended up becoming friends with a mouse.
Yeah, some of those I'm not so sure about if they're friendships or if they're just, kind of domesticating their food.
Yeah, the snake would curl up into, the ring and the mouse would sleep in the middle. It would eat other mice. It's not that one.
Doc, I'm sure that some penguins are race. I'm sure they run the spectrum just as we do. They have proven that there are gay penguins. Even to the point that there are some penguins that two males will bond as a couple and they will steal an egg to raise it. Hunter's asking if you paid extra for the peanut butter to say dog on it.
It was the like a Kong peanut butter in the little kind of a cheese whiz can.
Yeah, you do have to be careful. Some peanut butters aren't good for dogs. I forget which ingredients that you have to watch out for.
Yeah. Xylitol? One of those.
Yeah, xylitol is one of the artificial sweeteners.
Yeah, xylitol. That's the one that you really have to watch out for. But this is a peanut butter that's specifically made for dogs that I used.
Yeah, I'm sure so. I was saying about the penguins. Yeah. Sometimes if they can't get an egg, they'll carry a stone around and trade it between them to keep it warm. Seagulls mate for life and have also been known to form lesbian couples for life. That they will build a nest together every year and they will lay eggs, which of course won't be fertilized, so they never hatch. See, and this is the kind of stuff that the people who say that homosexuality is unnatural, it has been documented in over 500 different species from insects to primates. So how you can say that's not part of nature, I don't know. Dragonflies are known to be cross-dressing prostitutes.
Are they really?
Yes. Sometimes a male dragonfly will tuck its genitalia away and pose on a branch and wait for another male to come and offer it an insect it's caught. And then it will allow the second male to mount it while it is eating the insect.
Nice.
That's like, yeah, buy me dinner and we can.
Cheap date.
Good night, Doc. Hope you have an uneventful time at work.
Day.
I haven't noticed it getting stuck to the roof of her mouth, but I have smeared on her nose a couple of times to get her to lick it off. Sister walks around the house trying to lick her nose.
Yeah, just on her nose, huh?
Yeah, just on her nose.
The most wild sexual behavior in animals I know of is leopard slugs. They intertwine their penises and emit a slime to a mate. Sometimes they get stuck and they have to chew one of the penises off.
Oh.
Well, there's a type of Australian mouse that the male will mount the female and literally fuck itself to death, that it will not stop humping her until it dies from total exhaustion. At which point the female will shrug the male off and go looking for another male, and she will do this until she has killed 5 or 6 males.
I don't know, I find the anglerfish method be pretty brutal.
Well, what is it?
Well, you just kind of the male just kind of inserts himself into the female and just deteriorates until it's nothing but a sperm pump.
Oh yeah, he just kind of melds into her.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess Aunt Jo's thing wasn't finished. That apparently, after the slug has its penis chewed off, it becomes female, and then can mate through the hole where the penis was taken off.
Well, that's pretty close to transgender.
There are some species of some species of eels that are naturally transgender. They're all born male, and it's only when they mature completely that they become female. So basically, there are no young females and there are no old males. That one kind of pissed me off to find out that about eels, because I was using that for one of the species in my novel. And it's one of these things that's like, I try to come up with really bizarre life forms from other planets. And almost every time somebody points out that there's already one on Earth that does that. It's like, you can't come up with things stranger than nature has already tried.
Well, that's the whole point. It's to another planet, we would be very weird. It's goes both ways.
Well, yeah, that was kind of one of the major themes of my novel. Was just that what's perfectly normal to them is weird to us, and things that we don't even think about, they're like, what the fuck?
Out there in the chat still, is anybody with an AMA question? And if you don't know what AMA means ask me anything.
As opposed to AI.
Ha ha ha.
TA. Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah. I know that.
I suppose I probably should have planned this out more and should have done a section on my own channel lore.
Okay, I'll ask you anything. All right.
Okay, what have you got?
So, as someone close to the Great Lakes, anyone close to the Great Lakes?
I have always lived on the Great Lakes. I've lived in 4 different states and I was always on at least one of the Great Lakes.
Oh, really?
I grew up within hearing distance of the lake.
Which ones?
Lake Michigan. I could hear the waves every night.
All right.
I grew up near Chicago, and I've lived
Okay,
in Michigan, Minnesota, and New York.
All right. So New York, Erie, or Ontario?
Well, closer to Erie. I was actually in the middle of the state, so I was actually a couple hours down from the lake.
All right. So, all right. Which other ones? Which other lakes?
Well, I was in the Northern Peninsula, Michigan, which is sandwiched between Lake Michigan and Lake Superior.
All right.
I've been to Superior also, and to Erie.
You were a Youper?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Well, no, I wasn't a Youper. I just lived up there for a while.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
I solidly resisted anybody trying to make me a Youper. And then,
So
of course, Minnesota, Duluth is on Lake Superior.
Mm-hmm. So, to the ask you anything, although I've asked you several things, how do you feel about the passing of Gordon Lightfoot?
Yeah, usually celebrity deaths, I don't take too much notice of because they're just people I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But Gordon Lightfoot has always been one of my favorite musicians ever since I was a teenager.
Likewise.
In fact, the music stick I have in my car, I would say 20-25% of the stuff on there is Gordon Lightfoot.
There you go.
So, just that one artist takes up that much of my collection.
My favorite Gordon Lightfoot song, and I know this is probably, it's not one of his most well-known. It's a song called on the self-titled album Gordon Lightfoot that I still have in vinyl, is a song called Bitter Green.
Yep.
Love that song. It's really short. It's really great. There's a video on YouTube of him playing it accompanied only by himself, and it's really a stunning rendition.
Yeah, and that one, until there was a collection of his works done in 2000 something, that had only appeared on one of his albums. I remember that was the rarest of his albums, and it took me years to get it.
Yeah, well, I still have that album. I still have it in vinyl. I love that song. Absolutely.
I cried for about 10-15 minutes last night at home alone. Since I wasn't as sad about him passing as having to then remember all the lives that were lost on the Fitzgerald. It was
that too.
It was very, very upsetting to everybody in the maritime regions of Wisconsin. It just was, and a lot of people here will still get broken up about it.
Yeah,
it
was a rare talent, and he never stopped performing. It's just an amazing guy. He performed well into his 80s.
He was still doing a circuit of the casinos and such just a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Even last year, he was doing concerts last year in 2022.
Okay, I didn't know when was his last concert.
Yep.
Okay, Hunter, I don't know if I should actually be running videos in the stream. We'll see how long is it.
That video, the one I mentioned?
No. That
No.
Octors just sent me something.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. Okay, it's a less than a minute thing. Let me this is gonna take some jiggling to get me going.
So this is about the slug thing.
No, I think it's just a dog. I'm not sure, but I trust not yours. So
I'll be back in just a bit.
okay. Get it back. Where are we? Okay.
Yeah, it is a slug thing.
Oh, it is the slug. Okay.
Yeah, hang down by that little string of slime,
Yeah.
tangle themselves, and go at it.
Yeah, their mucus twisting themselves together. Yeah, that looks pretty gross.
Well, you know.
Well,
They've
it
got
looks like a dog turd hanging from a booger.
You got mucus involved. That's got to be grim.
Okay, hold on a moment.
Dog turd hanging from a booger. There's a way to describe your sex life. What else we got going on here? Yep. Jenny missed slug sex. I find the turtle penis look pretty bizarre. Have you ever seen one of those?
Turtle penis?
Yeah.
I have never seen a turtle penis.
Those are pretty
I can't
bizarre
say
looking.
that I have.
The head of it's like flat.
Huh.
Perp, I sent another picture to you in the DM to prepare the chat. This picture is an example of how much the maritime while living next to Lake Michigan means to you. We take pictures of boats,
Ah, yes.
and that's the same type of boat as Edmund Fitzgerald.
Mm-hmm. Iron Freer.
And in this particular instance, it was coal.
Yeah, my sister actually works at a shipyard in Wisconsin, where they do the repairs on the freighters that come through the Great Lakes.
Oh, really? That's cool. Lots and lots of craft for World War II were built in Wisconsin. And a lot of the littoral ships that are out there now are being built in Wisconsin. Manitowoc.
South Portland, Maine was a center for the building of victory ships during the Second World War.
Yeah. That was one of the things that really caught the Japanese off guard, was they didn't realize how many places the U.S. could find to build ships, the number of small ships that we could turn out in a matter of months.
Yep.
Was a what did you call that ship?
Victory ships?
Are victory ships the same as Liberty ships?
Liberty ships, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
My dad was on a Liberty ship.
Yeah, one of the biggest employers in the state of Maine right now is Bath Iron Works. Builds lots of stuff for the Navy, like the new destroyers and stuff.
It's amazing to me that humans can actually build something so big out of all this steel, and when they're done, it doesn't leak and stuff. It's like, wow.
Yeah, aircraft carriers are literally floating cities.
Oh yeah.
You know, they have thousands of people on board, and they have just everything that you would expect to find in a small city. As far as Gordon Lightfoot, I think the song that I tend to remember most of his is Approaching Lavender. I don't know why. That was just one that always caught me, and I would...
Because it's purple.
Yeah, but this was even before I identified as purple. This was decades ago.
It's subconscious then. You were meant to be purple.
Yeah, but you know what? While I like purple, I actually am not big on the color lavender. I don't want to do pastels.
How come?
I just like deeper, more vibrant colors.
Yeah, that's one of the littoral ships.
Yep, that is it's a BIW main built vessel right there.
The funky tower is that way because of her radar.
Yep.
Camouflage.
Now, I know it's going to sound like I've got my family and everything, but one, I do have a big family. But one of my nephews was on one of those ships on its main voyage because he had to do like the fine tuning of the electronics to make sure everything was working within specs.
Stephanie, in that picture, it showed the bow, and the bow running down to the keel was pointing forward instead of back. Does that reduce water noise?
Yeah, it's a swept back bow. Yeah, it's through it, the whole thing. It's a stealth destroyer, so it's stealthy in that it is designed to both above water not be detectable to radar, and underwater to not be quite as visible to sonar.
Yeah, I like the idea of stealth ocean vehicles. You know, hide them real good, and then let Trump tell the enemy where they are.
Yeah.
God, wasn't that one of the dumbest things you've ever heard a supposedly smart person do?
Well, I think it's a perfect example of Dunning-Kruger, of somebody who thinks they know a lot about a subject, but knows nothing at all.
Yeah.
Let's see. Other views.
Donnie dumb shit.
That's BIW right there. Right on that. That's the Kennebec River. The river takes like just not too far, maybe about 1.5 miles down the river from Bath. The river takes a 90-degree turn.
Somebody should sweep up all that dust on there.
That's ice.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Jenny's from Wisconsin. She doesn't know what ice and snow are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good view. Click on that one.
Which one?
The one above, up and to the right. To the right, to the right, to the right.
This?
No, just move to the right. Move to the right.
To the right, to the right, to the right.
One
Down
more.
one.
Down one. Left one. There, that one. Yeah, that shows that bow really well. Are those pods guns? Oh, yeah, it has to be. It's a destroyer.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, I would imagine so.
God, funky shit.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah, it's
relatively
got-
few guns, but it carries some missiles.
Looking at
I wonder how fast it
looking at
can
looking at the water line, it takes quite a little angle right here. Like the bow it's all sloped towards the bow there, and then it takes an angle and goes straight aft. It's going along.
I can't tell from
Straight line
the
aft.
photograph. Does that side of the thing of the ship tip inward too?
Yeah, it slopes a bit.
Yeah, it looks like it. I
Yeah,
don't
its
know.
commander was saying that the shape is to
Yeah,
reduce the wake
you
in the
can see
water.
you can see it there. That's a
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, because the amount of disturbance it causes in the water is one of the things that the passive sonar looks for.
Well, that and the crew farting.
Hi, kids.
Okay. Yep, people were asking how Diana was doing.
Yeah, there
We've
she
been
is.
we've been concerned about you.
Hey, Diana.
Hi,
I'm at,
Di.
I'm at a crisis center at the moment.
That's
Oh,
good.
so you haven't gotten home yet?
No, I guess if everything goes the way I want it to go, I'll be going home Friday.
Okay.
Hmm.
How long has Sylvia been alone then?
Just a few hours. I got there yesterday.
Oh, okay. So
Oh,
you did
good.
get to go home and check on stuff. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Did
I'm
you happen
trying-
to find any of your missing items?
I haven't found anything. No.
Oh, I had hoped maybe when you went home you would have found some of them there.
What I'm hoping I can do, I'm hoping I can get to cleaning the place, and maybe I'll get lucky and find some items.
That's a possibility.
And I don't know. Because I mean, the backpack, for example, I had it and then it disappeared, and I did not leave the apartment in between. So it must be there in the apartment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're pretty sure it's at home. Well, that's reassuring then.
Yeah.
The phone, I don't know.
Well, what are the chances that the phone was in the backpack?
0, I believe, if I remember correctly. They were disconnected. The one was not in the other when they disappeared.
Okay. I just assumed that, like, if you'd gone out to the store, you would have slipped the phone into the backpack.
What I'm doing right now is, I guess you could call it agonizing. I'm trying to decide whether I should take Amiga Nuts up on his offer of living space.
Well, you were saying you wanted a roommate.
That is true. That is very true.
And it would certainly make a lot of things a lot easier. You know, if we knew you had somebody there to help you with things when you have your crisis. I'm not even sure where it is Amiga Nuts lives, what city it is.
Long Island.
Sorry, what?
Long Island.
Huh.
Good old New York City.
Hey, that's George Santos's place.
Yeah.
Hey, Jyuni.
Hello.
There we have our artist who did the lovely thumbnail for us.
Yay.
Jyuni has basically done all of my channel art for the last couple of years. Oh, she's dropped. Well, Jyuni has done all of my channel art for the last couple of years, and she seems to have capitalism a little backwards because she keeps paying me money every month to keep doing artwork for me.
Well, there you go.
So she is also one of my Patreon subscribers, and she does free artwork. So she deserves a lot of credit for this stuff. She has done all the thumbnails for all of the special event shows I've done. Like doing all the artwork for the Christmas stream.
Well, I was wondering, why do I have a leaf on my head?
Well, the wreath there had some leaves and petals flying off of it, but StreamYard kind of cropped the top a bit so you don't see the bit that's flying over the top.
Jyuni, that's a very cute avatar for yourself.
The one hiding in the corner there?
Yep, it's you hiding in the corner.
Well, the one you got there too.
I got a leaf in my head.
In here. In terms of the leaf on your head, I try to incorporate the fact that you're a gardener.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I guess I didn't notice that little detail of the leaf between your ears there.
I mean, I would have literally gave you green thumbs, but I don't know. I thought the leaf looked like a cute little detail there.
Leaf works.
I'm so happy to hear everybody's voices today.
Well, at your, I don't know if I'd call it being taken care of or anything like that. They want me to do exactly what they want me to do, and I'm a little hesitant. They want me to go into a 30-day program, and Sylvia can't be by herself for 30 days. A week, yeah, but not 30 days.
No.
Yeah, you'd need somebody to come in and check on her.
Without somebody to check on her every few days.
And I don't have anybody who will do that.
Yeah, again, the distance is a problem. There isn't anybody who can, drive back and forth even to stop in there on weekends.
Yeah, there are pet sitting services that would do that, but that requires money, which you also don't have.
And it's not about who wants to or who would be able to. It's like who would want to. It's like it's just like we were talking about. It's just the distance between us all. It just makes it so much harder.
Yeah, that's we literally we don't know anybody who lives even within 200 or 300 miles of Diana.
Although, Diana, one thing I was mentioning earlier is that I see on Twitter a lot of people who are trans who are in Pittsburgh or the immediate area. And so I think you should get a hold of the LGBT Center for Pittsburgh, whoever they are, whatever their name is, I don't know.
Yeah.
And see if there aren't anybody who can help a trans sister.
Yeah, that there may very well be a support group, right in your own community there.
Well, like I said, I found the one that was named Trans Uniting.
Yeah. That's my therapist, made me aware of there being a transgender support group here. And this is a smaller city than what you live in. So I've gotten over to that a few times now. And it's good to finally, not just meet some people who live in the same city, but, meet some other people who are dealing with the same issues of being trans.
Hey, somebody in the chat, could you do a quick search on Google for Pittsburgh LGBT Center?
Yeah, my therapist also set me up with a group. I just need to spend like $50 a session.
I don't even know.
Oh, the one I met here it's a very informal group, and they meet at a church, which, gave me some reservations at first, but apparently it's just a place that's given them space, and it happens to be a very open church that I was told that the pastor is actually openly gay. So it's nice, and like the first time I felt kind of out of place because I was like much older than everybody else there, but Since then, there have been a couple people there that were pretty close to my age that have showed up.
Oh, I thought you were
Who
gonna say because everybody was like a believer in something and you weren't.
No, that really hasn't come up. Although, actually, I know at least 2 of them are pagan. Just from the jewelry and some things they said.
Who
There you
was
go. Also relate.
who was it that said this? There was somebody right here, right now, that said there was something called Trans United. Was that here in Pittsburgh that you were talking about?
Yes, that's in
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
that's what Mage was saying.
Yeah, they're listed on the university's website of list of for LGBT people I found. It's called
Yeah,
Trans Uniting.
universities are generally a good place to find groups like that. Sorry, Mage, I'm talking over you. I didn't mean to.
That's okay.
You said it was a university listing?
Yeah, it was listed on the university. Trans U Niting, and I'll just give you a link again.
So I'm wondering if I asked these people about it, if they would know anything, or if they would
There's the
even
link in
care to help.
They might be. I mean,
Commander 401 was saying that most of the runaways they're getting in LA that fall under the LGBTQ umbrella are from Pennsylvania.
Reading their about, they say they offer crisis housing for trans people who are facing homelessness or displacement from their homes, who are offering food assistance, partner with Proud Haven to create a space and community for LGBTQI, LMNOP, whatever, youth. We connect trans people to resources with our numerous community partners. So, and apparently it's run by Dana Stanley. I think I've mentioned this before. I think you said something about knowing that person or having known that person.
Yeah, when you said Proud Haven, that rang a bell.
So who knows? Maybe they remember you too.
I don't know. I may have to ask, and I may have to beg.
But they
Well,
have
if you could find a transgender support group, it would probably be a good place for you to, make some friends, and maybe you could develop somebody that you could trust enough to have them come in and check on Sylvia for you when you're in the hospital or whatever happens.
Yeah, and they have a little contact thing. You can put your name, email, and then write a message saying that you're a elderly trans woman who's been living alone and maybe just needs some company.
You could also talk to the local Humane Society. They have lots of people who foster animals.
Yeah, that could be an idea. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to be gone for a month, that might be something to look at.
I'm trying to remember the name Stanley. Who's the first name?
Dana, I think.
Dana.
Yeah. At least I think I'm pronouncing that Dena.
It's been a while
Dana?
since I've seen her, but if I'd have a name to give these people who they might know or something.
Yeah, apparently she's the head of this whole thing.
Well, yeah, that could definitely help if you can mention that you already know somebody who's involved with the group, even if it's been years since you've had contact.
Kids, I have to break off and go. I got to get ready for my group this evening. Diana, I'm glad you're still around and being positive to find some help.
Okay, take care, Jenny. We'll see you next week.
Take care, Jenny. Be good.
Bye-bye, chat. Love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Happy to hear you again.
So I'm at the point where I'm pretty close to being at the point where I'll try anything. even willing to ask these people for
I think
advice.
the idea of checking with the Humane Society and seeing if somebody could foster Sylvia while you have to be in the treatment program, that sounds like an excellent idea. Because then you would know that she's safe and being taken care of. You wouldn't have to worry about her.
And it'd be one less thing to hold you back.
Say what?
No, it'd be one less thing to worry about, and less thing to that's holding you back from starting the treatment.
Well, I'm not sure if I trust these people to be treated by them, but
Yeah, well, that's another issue in itself. I don't know anything about the program, so.
You definitely need some kind of counseling. That's for sure.
oh yes, I agree. But they
I can understand your reluctance to commit to, a month-long live-in program.
Yeah, I can.
Hi,
Yeah,
Maya.
yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, usually those kind of things are, more geared to people that are, like recovering from a drug addiction or something. So I'm not quite sure why they're recommending it for you.
The impression I get is that they know what they know. And what they know is not what I need.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering
need
about if
something else.
they're.
Say again?
That's what I'm wondering about if they don't have very accurate information about you and they're making some assumptions.
I think that
Kitties.
when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yeah, and I have run into that in medical settings, that you get a doctor who specializes in one thing and they tend to overdiagnose it. So if you have a whole program that's set up to just treat one specific group of people, they kind of see signs that just about everybody could fit into that.
Well, I think if you find somebody who just come over and sit and have somebody you can talk to for an hour or two, a week or so, would probably go a long way.
Yeah, well, that's what I was wondering about, and that's why I was saying that Sloth Girl got it approved to have somebody to come in and help her with the housework, 4 hours a week. So once a week, yeah, she has a friend of hers comes in and, just does the dishes, runs the vacuum cleaner around, and just does some of the housework that she can't stand long enough to do. And more than anything, it gives her a chance to chat for a few hours. Because other than me, she doesn't talk to adults at all.
Yeah, well, adults are always adulting everywhere.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, kitties are great, but not always the most insightful conversations.
Eh.
I just wish. I wish I did have somebody nearby, and I guess that would be Amiga Nuts.
It sounds like you may be the closest one.
And okay, if you're listening, please don't take this the wrong way, but I am afraid. I'm saying that to Amiga Nuts.
Yeah.
Well, that fear has been holding you back, Care.
What?
And it's not. Well, that's not something that's directed specifically to Amiga Nuts. It seems to be a more general fear.
Yeah. Well, everyone has a certain fear of change. That's instinctual at some level. But you have to decide on the problems you're having. that what's the best way for you to keep going from here on?
So I don't know if I'm looking at this the right way or not, but I am afraid, on the off chance that something would go south, would go down the toilet. I mean, I would have lost Section 8. I mean, so far that's really the only housing I can afford.
Yeah.
But I'm also looking. Do I buy a pistol and blow my head off in that case?
No.
Yeah, Drew did have some advice on it. Said if anything, make sure you have a contract with all the stipulations of living arrangements laid out. You can get legal forms online.
Then, of course, there's the whole thing about a contract is only as good as the ability to enforce it.
True, but it does help to have things written out on paper when arguments come up. Then at least you can go back to the thing on paper and say, that, well, this is something we agreed to.
Yeah, and even if you get a digital copy of it, like a photo or screenshot, whatever it may be, that way, in case you lose the physical paper form of it,
Yeah.
you have something to go back to.
Yeah, well, when I say on paper, I'm being archaic these days. Not much is actually printed out. Even legal documents and things, most people are just carrying around in their phones now.
Well, I think we were talking about like names earlier. Like I just filled out my name change form with you, and I had to print it out in the end, and then I'm not sure what to do with them. But at least I'll physically have the papers if I have to turn them in, just like that. But it's good to have both, just in case.
Okay, were you able to just submit all electronically, or did you have to print it out to send a physical copy to the courthouse?
So funny thing is, I had to print out the forms just for my brother to sign as my witness, and then I guess I had to, like earlier today, I scanned that date specifically, and that way I can file it. I went to court earlier and I asked about, about the whole thing. I just ran out of time, so I had to leave. So I'll probably be going back there tomorrow and see if I can just physically hand them over the sheets and.
Okay.
Call it a day.
Yeah. Actually, that's what I've usually run into, is that the only time I've had to do much with printing things out is like having government agencies who sent me something in email that I had to print out, sign, scan back into the computer, and return to their email. So that's the only reason I had to print it out, was because I couldn't sign something on the computer. I guess at some point we're all going to wind up with, digital signatures.
Yeah.
Probably something somehow connected to our social security number and some random key to make sure it's really you.
Current digital signatures don't really make much sense to me.
No, the way they are now, they don't do anything. We've seen that time and time again, how kids wind up using their parents' credit card, so that counts as their digital signature, and they get access to adult stuff.
Hello?
Just checking on you.
Can I go talk to somebody later? I need some advice.
Yeah, your clinician likes Justin.
Okay.
Okay, and if you're getting noise from me, that's because Sammy has jumped up and decided to start headbutting my mic.
Nice.
He says I have been on the computer too long and I need to play with him.
Yeah.
Ollie is saying, I need belly rubs.
Yeah. Well, at least over the weekend I got Sammy to the groomer and got his nails trimmed.
I found that there's a pet groomer just down the street from me. I can actually walk her over there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So now when Sammy hops up in my lap, I have 80% fewer punctures.
Yeah, I might try taking her down there to see about getting her nails done. Seeing as she's fighting me about doing that. Oh, and the picture here is of her getting a taste of her birthday cake.
Okay, I was wondering if that was your dog.
Yeah,
Look
that's my
at
dog.
Smile.
The expression.
Yes, it was birthday cake just made of dog food, or
No, it's actually human grade food.
oh,
It's
okay.
made specifically for dogs. I actually tried a piece, and it was a little bland, kind of dry, but it's.
Yeah, that's usually how typically they get to be. I've made homemade cakes for my dog, and yeah, so like you can share it with your dog if it's just not not as sweet as a regular cake would be.
Yeah, well, that's probably the refined sugar is even less good for them than it is for us.
Yeah,
and I
there's
know that chocolate can be very bad for dogs.
and the cake was peanut butter.
Oh, of course. I don't know if like you had to make the frosting on your own too, or it's just like was it just a cake?
This was a from a dog bakery. Somebody, my friend got it.
Oh my gosh.
They had her name on it and everything. They have a
So cute. So the frosting was made of peanut butter as well. They probably do like what I usually do is like mix peanut butter and like plain yogurt. Actually, it tastes pretty good.
yeah, there's
Oh,
the cake.
oh my god! I have to send over a picture of the one I made them.
Yeah, back when I had a dog, I had experimented with making homemade dog biscuits, which was kind of fun, but they were a bit of a hassle, and she seemed to like the store ones better.
I just happened to like that expression that was caught when she was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The comment that Commander made, God was sewing says that most of the runways are getting in LA
Yeah.
are from Pennsylvania. That worries me.
Well, that's why I was wondering if Pennsylvania has, passed some new anti-gay legislation. That are you getting a large exodus? Although, classically, a lot of people ran away to California, and myself included. At least on TV and that you get the impression of California being probably like the closest thing to paradise you're going to find. And just in general, a lot of homeless people wind up going to California just because they figure the weather's going to be better there. So if you're not going to have a place to sleep indoors, that's a major consideration.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to think. I have to do a lot of thinking about this. I have to admit that wherever I go, it's going to be about the same. I'm going to have absolute, no absolute fallback, no matter what happens. And I guess that's not a reason to be afraid.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, kind of the nature of our society that when you don't have much money, you usually don't have good backup.
And I mean, Amiga Nuts is nice enough.
Well, maybe Omega Nuts at least would be a good temporary situation until you can find something better. Like maybe you can, get on a waiting list for public housing somewhere else.
I do like the pistol idea.
Yeah, nobody else does. You're outvoted on that one.
And it is possible to screw that up and make things worse for yourself.
Why do you
That's
think
true too.
Why do you think I haven't done it yet?
I tried it a couple of times when I was a teenager. I haven't felt the urge for it in a couple of decades. Which is saying something that even when I wound up homeless, I didn't consider that an option.
Well, if I do end up homeless, I very likely am dead, because I don't think there's a dialysis center that will let me live there.
Well, obviously, we're going to do everything we can to avoid you being in that situation.
It's just unfortunate. It appears that I need somebody around.
Well, you at least need somebody who, at least can be close enough to check on you now and then. So, like I say, maybe taking Omega Nuts on it to take care of your situation immediately. And if nothing else, maybe it just gives you, the reassurance, that you can kind of calm down and kind of think through things and maybe come up with some better plans.
I'm very, very frightened right now.
I sure can understand that.
Yeah.
Very understandable. I'm sure there's a lot to think about.
I don't know. I don't know what to do at this point.
Well, that's why I was saying that, maybe taking Amiga Nuts up on their offer would just give you a better situation to kind of, think things through and figure out a plan for the future.
Yeah, at least to temporarily lean on something, and like if they're on board, and if you're even if you're semi on board, you have something to lean on.
It's a place to start, that's for sure.
And there already had been money that was gathered in your name, so we don't really have a problem with a moving fund. It was just a matter of you didn't have a definitive destination. So the transient part's not so bad for you.
Mage, I forget again. What did you say that first name was?
Dana Stanley.
Dana, that's it. Dana Stanley. I'll ask. I'll see if they
you need to start making notes
know
for yourself.
What?
You need to start making notes for yourself.
Yeah. Well, I don't have paper and pencil here. They don't let you have that because they're afraid you'll.
Well, you can make notes on your phone.
That's what I was going to say. Don't you have a notepad function in your phone? It's something I've only recently gotten used to. I'm still used to doing things on paper and pencil myself, but getting more and more to making the notes in my phone so I don't lose the notes.
Well, that doesn't guarantee me anything. Remember what happened to my first phone?
Yeah, it's not a guarantee, but it's a help.
And you forget that you put the note in your phone, and then forget the phone.
This might sound a little extra step, but like if you screenshot a note and save it into like a cloud, and you can always like open that cloud up in a different phone in case you either break or lose a phone.
That is the nicest thing about the cloud functions, is that you can access it from other devices, even if you lose the original.
Yeah, like I'm so happy I had so many like different photos from my older devices, and I was just able to switch over to my newer phones. It's just over the summer, I think I'm going to switch over to iPhone, and I hope I can at least move some images over to there. I'll have to figure that out. Or if anybody, I know Jenny's an iPhone user, so maybe I'll ask her how to do it.
Yeah, Carrie, Diana's mostly on Medicare. We did find some transportation options to help her as far as local stuff, so at least she's getting back and forth to her dialysis appointments.
Yep.
That's I was saying that she should look into some kind of home health care and see if they couldn't, at least approve somebody to come in once a week to help her with some of the general housekeeping. I think that might be an option for her, but I don't really know what's available where she lives.
I've poked around a little bit on that, but I haven't found anything that would take the Medicare.
Yeah, I think for that she'd probably have to start through her county worker, who has not been the most helpful person.
Well, okay, folks, I'm going to bounce, and hope everything works out.
Okay.
Thanks.
So,
you take care, okay?
You do too. Thinking about you.
Bye-bye, Steph.
You take care of yourselves. Good hearing from you again.
Jyuni, Aunt Jura is asking if your voice is different.
Is it? I hope it's better.
I think that I don't know. I guess I don't have a definitive thing, but maybe you've brought up the pitch a bit.
Can't really say for sure. It's been a while since I heard your voice.
I don't know. I haven't posted anything up yet, like lately, so that people would, I guess get a reference point or hear me out.
I'd probably have to go back to some of your old videos to compare, but yeah.
Well, definitely not my first videos. You'll hear me at like my deepest, I think, and my or the beginning of my journey from my first videos.
Okay, Diana, Carrie is suggesting that you try a community mental health center for a worker. That they have better bedside manners about things, and yeah, I think that's definitely something you should look into. Because as we have discussed, it would definitely be good for you to get therapy. So, talking to community mental health would be a good place to start for some resources.
Well, I definitely need therapy.
Yeah, well, I'm a big believer that everybody could benefit from some therapy at least occasionally.
Definitely, even if it's once a month, it helps. I do mine's like every week.
Yeah, Andrea said that she's on Medicaid and has the option to get some in-home health care.
I think it just sucks that you had to, fight for it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of programs out there that they generally don't let people know about. You have to do some digging and make a lot of phone calls to find out the right person to talk to.
Yeah, and I think that's what stops a lot of people, including myself. That it's just not readily, just this site.
Yeah,
I don't like looking for things in general, like physically.
Yeah.
Like,
it is something that holds me up just because I've got a lot of social anxiety and I hate talking on the phone.
Yeah, same here.
So it's like I wind up, I keep putting off making the phone calls and then I don't find out the right people I need to talk to. So I understand that it's a difficult process at best. But yeah, I would definitely, try going through your community mental health center because at least they're used to dealing with people who have those type of issues.
A tug of war going with one of her toys.
Is the toy winning?
It's her new toy. It's this ultra tough thing from West Paw. So you can use it as a tug of war toy, a fetch toy, or a chew toy. Old one.
Yeah, Carrie, we had already discussed with Diana about some Meals on Wheels programs and came up with a couple of phone numbers for her to try and connect with those things.
Yeah, I'm on that.
Yeah, Carrie's also mentioning that a lot of local churches have social and senior services. And yeah, I understand your reluctance to dealing with churches, but yeah, it might be worth, seeing what they have available. And
please forgive me. Dana, what?
Stanley,
thank you. This is how bad my mind is.
Yeah, well, that's why I keep encouraging you to take notes because I understand that, things will slip. You may not remember things a couple of days from now. And I do it because I have to do that myself, especially in this kind of setting that somebody makes a suggestion in chat. And it's like, yeah, I may not remember it, in a few hours after the chat's shut down. or I'll vaguely remember that somebody said something, but I won't remember, who it was they said I should talk to.
I don't know, it just came into my mind here, and I know it's a long shot, but I wonder if I shouldn't get in contact with somebody from the, I'm trying to remember what the church is called, the church, the people that go around in whiteface.
In whiteface? What do you mean, the Mormons, or?
They're a parody group.
Oh,
Sisters of something or other.
I'm not familiar with who you're going for there.
There, just so when you forget again, I've put it in your Twitter. It's not your DM group, just straight directly to you.
Yep.
So you got the link to the Trans Uniting. Contact those people, and I got a name dropped up the person who runs the thing.
Thank you, Mage, for putting the name in there. Yeah, I had copied the links you had sent before to her. But yeah, it's good then. She should have it all in one place.
Like I said, I don't know if this community will be able to help you, but it's worth reaching out. Maybe at least you'll find some people you can talk to who are right there in the same room as you.
Yeah, well, and like Antra is saying, that the facility you're at now should at least be able to refer you to some mental health services. So, maybe they can line you up with an intake appointment with a therapist before you go home. Antra is saying Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. Is that the group you were thinking of?
Thank you, yes. I used to hang around with a couple of them.
I had not heard of that group.
I hate to end this, but are we going to be ending soon?
Say again, what?
Are we going to be ending the stream soon?
Probably. I didn't have a specific. You got to go take care of your chickens?
Yeah, I got chickens to take care of. I got dogs to walk. I got...
Yeah.
Oh, God, I forgot the name again. Oh, God, my mind is horrible.
Don't worry. Okay. I've sent you a link on your Twitter.
Yeah.
You can see it there.
You can go and check your Twitter and it'll be there anytime you need to check it.
Yeah.
So. The spelling and everything.
Yep. Spelling and everything. And the link. And instructions. And what to do.
Good.
Wait a minute, what is...
I had considered going door to door, just taking some blank sheets of typing paper, and doing the trifold to make them little pamphlets, and just going around handing out blank sheets of paper since I'm an atheist.
There it is, I got it back.
Okay, yeah, let's wrap it up here then. Okay, well, Diana, we'll just be waiting for updates on you. I know you won't be scheduling much of anything until you get things straightened out for yourself.
Let me look really quickly here if I can find my PayPal. I will go ahead and I will beg.
That's okay. I've already got it for you here.
You did. Thank you.
Well, I always put all of your links in the descriptions anytime you come in the stream. I put everybody's links in there.
I need all the financial help I can get. And if you're tired of all that, if you're sick of me begging, instead of a $5 bill, send me a hate note.
Well, I was gonna say if you're okay with $5, that's probably all I can afford at the moment. Every week or something like that. I try to give a little bit here and there to as much people as I can. But I'm slowly, dealing with my own financial issues here too. So,
Yeah.
I'll do my best.
Well, we don't want anybody to be injuring themselves to help somebody else, but anybody, if people have a bit extra, so there, I dropped your PayPal link in the YouTube chat there for if anybody has a couple of bucks they want to contribute.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely better than a hate note.
Yeah. So, Jyuni, you have anything coming up? Any appearances scheduled?
Nothing that's scheduled. I'm trying to work on my short videos again. I haven't posted anything lately. And trust me, you don't want me to plug anything else. Only because we're on a serious note here for Diana. So I will leave it at another day.
Okay.
But my link trees there should be at least now.
Yep, I've got that in the description for the stream as well. Okay, so Mage, you had put out a garden tour a few days ago.
Yep. Just kind of covering all the work I've got to do. I think my next video might be. I'm hoping to do the DIY soil test for pH soil, but kind of thinking about doing that one. I need to get a space cleaned off so I can set it up.
I never tried the DIY ones. When I was trying to do a garden, I just sent samples off to the university and they sent me results.
Yeah, that'll be more accurate than what you could do. It's not going to give you any specific numbers or anything, but give a general sense idea.
Yeah. I just found out that the university agricultural department did that, and apparently if you were a state resident, they had to do it for free because that was part of their charter for getting state funding.
Oh, nice. This is something I gotta look into around my area. You can also get pH soil test kits pretty easily.
Yep. Yeah, there's
I envy your garden. You have like everything there.
Oh, my garden isn't anything to envy, especially right now.
Well, you still, like you said with the dog and that, you were a couple of weeks behind on getting started on things, but
more than a couple, but at least 3 weeks.
You got a freaking pineapple growing when a tree fell on it.
Yeah, I was surprised to find that.
Not like we could ever grow pineapples in this climate. I mean, my sister grew one indoors, but we'd never have that outside here.
For real. There's definitely something in the soil.
Okay, well, as far as I go for the channel here, yeah, we're going to try, this is our later time here on Wednesday afternoon, starting at 2 p.m. Central.
Okay, so new thing then. I thought it was just for today.
No, that's starting the new season. I'm going to try this new time for a while and, see if we get more people in the audience at this time.
And are you dropping the Thursday?
Yeah, I'm not going to be doing Thursday night shows at all, at least for a while. I mean, if there's like a huge public outcry, I might go back to it, but I don't expect that to be returning.
Okay.
That's okay. You do what you need to do.
Yeah, well, mostly it was running into problems with me being able to get up on Friday afternoon and get to appointments and things and be able to run around and do my business on Friday before things closed.
I see. Well, I mean, the 2 o'clock works for me if I get off work like at 3 and, if I can hop on as soon as I can, that'll give me a chance to,
Yeah. Well, I have the chronic sleep issues, so like when I was doing the nighttime streams, after the stream was over, it would always take me at least 2 hours to wind down before I could go to bed.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so then
well,
I wasn't even getting out of bed until the middle of the afternoon. I just didn't have enough time left on Friday to get anything done.
well, it's either that or I'm bothering you after the stream for like a couple more hours.
Huh?
No, I'm just saying, like, if it's not that, it'd be me because of me, because I'm bothering you for a couple of hours after the stream.
No, you don't bother me. I don't hear from you nearly often enough. And I am so grateful for all the artwork you do for me. Okay, well,
Okay.
with all that said, then we will see you all next week and see you all around on Twitter and so forth. So thank you everybody for coming, and we will catch you all later. Bye bye.
Later.
Have fun.
Love you.